Oh baby, it's the MANAS crab. This is one of my all-time favorite sets. Why? Well, they look cool, but also they can be remote controlled to move around and fight. It's the best set. The pieces that come in this set, they're also pretty good too. So in today's video, let's see how we could use the pieces that come in this set to build our own LEGO creations. And then we're going to take a look at 4 incredible revamps of the MANAS crab. Some of these revamps can even move as well. So let's take a closer look. It's time for Crab. Look at these dudes. They're so in the vein of classic Bionicle. All that wonderful old dark grey, the heavy use of lift arms and other Technic pieces. It's just brilliant. And it's a set like this that showcases the beautiful genius of Bionicle as a theme. Giant crab beasts as a villainous threat that the Toa had to fight. I love that. It's so original and it's so fun. I mean, even just the way that these guys have masks on their little crab claws, the cute little studs for their eyes, they're wonderful. But of course, the best part about this set is the motorized functionality of it. The bodies of the MANAS crabs are built around these large receiver units that sync up with these remote controls. You simply just have to turn them on by pressing the button on the crab, and then you sync it to the controller by turning it to the specific number that corresponds with the crab, or the one controller can move both crabs at once. And then you get to move the crabs around. And as they move forward, their little arms lash out like they're punching out enemies, which is just the best. Yet whenever they move, they have to punch people. These crabs are just super mad all the time, and they have to lash out and hit things. Hilarious. Either that, or they're constantly pumping their fists like they're at a rock concert. Now, you can actually play a fun little game with these crabs. You can have them fight one another, which that in itself is very fun, but the aim is to get one of the crab pincers to hit the center nose on the crab. If you can knock that down, then you win. Yeah, I like that they added that play feature. They didn't have to do that. I would have been perfectly content with having my 2 crabs hit each other, but turning it into a bit of a game makes it even better. Now, this nose is supported and held up by the use of an old black rubber band. You can see it here on the belly. Unfortunately, these break very, very easily. So much so that LEGO has just outright stopped using black rubber bands on modern sets. And the crazy tension that's pretty much always here on this rubber band, well, it's worrying. But I've had these built for about 2 months now, and I've not had any of these rubber bands break, yet. Still, it's a good thing that they haven't broken. I thought they would by now. So look, if you have these, just be cautious. Or replace them with a better rubber band. Yeah, these are such an original and incredible LEGO set. The parts they come with are also pretty good, so let's look at those. There are some beautiful masks included in this set. 2 lovely orange Ruru masks, and a couple stunning yellow Komals too. Let's see how people have used these in their own creations. Alvar Christo uses this orange Ruru in a mock called Lord Oblivion. But he's not using it in the traditional way of just slapping it on the face of a Toa. No, he's worked it into a larger head design. A head design that uses one of these trans blue visor pieces that comes on a set much like Pahatu Fantoka. And then below that we can see Rotor's mask from this wonderful set. All 3 of these mask elements together like this, it makes for a really, really cool head design. But if you don't want to do something like that, you could do what Tony A has done here on a mock called Ghost of Halloween. So here this mask has been flipped upside down, and Tony's intention for this mask is for it to look like a sad face. The hole at the bottom here, that's meant to be the mouth, and these are the sad eyes. It's a rather unique way of using this mask. And yet, while I understand that this is meant to look like a sad face, the imagery of the Ruru is so ingrained in my head that this just looks like an upside down version of the original mask to me. I can understand what it's meant to look like, but my brain cannot compute that. I don't know if you guys are the same. Maybe you can see the face a little bit better. But yeah, that's one cool way of using that mask. Now let's see how that yellow Komau has been used. Anuku uses it here on a mock called Akaru. Well, this is Anuku's version of someone else's creation. Still, I love seeing them use this mask on a Toa character. Yeah, the mask came on this Rahi. It was never seen on any official Toa set. So finally being able to see it on an actual Toa, it makes it feel all that more unique. I'm super down for something like that. Both crabs come with these Technic panel pieces. These appear in black and also in white in this set. Let's start off with seeing how we could use some of these smaller panel pieces first. Muffin Toa has a mock here called Chloros, and it uses these smaller panel pieces on the torso design. Honestly, I think this is a lovely design. Yeah, instead of using your typical armor pieces that you see all the time, this offers a nice, refreshing, and different alternative. And if you want to use the bigger panel pieces that come in this set, Muffin Toa uses them on a different mock here called Elengo. See how we can see them on the shoulders here? The energy of these pieces is great. It's so sharp, it's so sleek, just the way they jut out, it's wonderful. It's a very effective design that feels so energetic and so stylish. We've also got a few other Technic panel pieces being used on the waist here. These panel pieces are in different shapes and sizes. These do not come in this set. But hey, you could still use the panel pieces that come in this set to design your own unique waist armor. It's a good look. The set also boasts a very healthy supply of Technic axles, Technic pins, and all sorts of other goodies. Now, I won't showcase any MOCs that use these pieces because, well, pretty much every MOC uses these pieces. You need these kinds of parts to, I don't know, link armor onto limbs, connect the waist to the torso, whatever. Getting lots of these different types of pieces is always helpful. Now, both crabs include orange and yellow hook pieces, as well as some white ones too. And these are some beautiful recolors. Felix van Leeuwen uses these yellow ones here on a MOC called ICU. And this cute little dude has this sick spine design that utilizes these parts. Personally, I love how this looks. The wonderful flow that these parts create when they're placed like this is beautiful. And I love how these pair with these other hook pieces that we see on the hands, which I suppose is maybe like a more modern equivalent of this piece. And that's one way to use them. Another way to use them is like Toa Kasha has done here. This MOC is built by Onuku. See this sick staff weapon? Placing a hook on the end there, it looks great. Yeah, it looks like the kind of weapon that you could use to fish, you could use it to explore rocks or climb through caves. It's a very practical weapon that I think ties into their element of water quite nicely. So why not use these hooks? Well, as a hook. It seems obvious, but sometimes the obvious choice looks really, really good. This set also comes with heaps of different lift arms. You get them in many different sizes, many different shapes, and all kinds of different colors too. So let's highlight some ways you could use these parts. Cameron has an old rooster MOC here that uses some lift arms. The tail design uses some curved ones in red. Now, sure, this set doesn't come with any red lift arms, but this is still a great reminder that you can use pieces like this for a nice tail design, maybe even for a wing design, or I don't know, any kind of accent or cool finishing touch on a MOC. Cameron's got another MOC that also uses some lift arms. We can see these curved ones at the top here. And when you link them together like that with flex tube, it creates this really sick curved surface. And suddenly things start to get interesting. Now, heaps of these lift arms like this could easily be used for parts of a vehicle, or you could slap something similar to this on a humanoid character, use them as armor, whether that's knight armor or samurai armor, whatever. Weaving these pieces together like this can achieve some awesome results. And then the tread design at the front of this MOC, it also uses lift arms. This time it's the longer straight beams. Yeah, use these pieces to help create really strong, sturdy designs or structural supports inside of a vehicle, or even on a larger Titan MOC too. Alright, that's all pretty cool, but let's see how we could revamp this set. Disty starts us off with an awesome revamp of the MANAS Crab, and I love seeing more modern pieces recreating this classic design. You know, things like newer style Technic panel pieces, or some of the system pieces on the crab shell. That looks awesome. Because, you know, the original set was certainly a product of its time. Older style pieces, and a more classic LEGO look. But seeing the same basic layout and the overall look done with newer pieces, yeah, it still holds up. It just goes to show that the ideas and the design of the original set was something very special, and it's gonna look good no matter what kind of pieces you use to make it. This whole mouth area too is easily one of my favorite parts. The light up eyes, the use of Pahatu Fantoka's torso piece for the mouth itself. It's so clever. It's a beautiful modern take on an old classic. Oh yeah, and this even moves just like the real set. And speaking of a modern reimagining, Dylan Meaves gives us a Gen 2 MANAS Crab. And look at this, using exclusively CCBS parts to make a MANAS Crab. Heck yeah! Seeing that Stormer XL chest armor for a crab shell, very smart. The mouth area here, it looks very similar to a real crab. This is awesome stuff. Seeing things like this make me wish that G2 lent a little bit more into building Rahi characters. CCBS pieces look so good on creature builds, and this is proof of exactly that. Librarian Bot gives us a huge version of a MANAS Crab. Everyone loves making the orange and white crab. Why has there been no love for the yellow and black one? That's my favorite. Anyway, this huge system brick-built shell has all kinds of mechanical greebles and spikes embedded into it, and I love it. And then you got these crab pincers, and oh man, those actually look scary. The original ones, I'm sure they would hurt if you got hit with them, but they're not going to do any serious damage. These look like they would mess you up. I also love seeing these wheels on these crab legs here. It keeps it in line with the original set, but it allows for more realistic crab legs. It's a nice blend of realism, and it honors the original set too. I like that. This is just a good crab. It's huge, it's threatening, it's impressive. This is how I visualize the MANAS crab in my head if I'm ever reading Bionicle lore. And finally, Corn Builder has one last revamp for us today. And look at the beautiful crab shell on this one. Lots of more modern Technic panel pieces for the shell, including a white Visorak body piece too. It's just so well shaped and so pretty. My favorite detail though has to be the awesome back design. Placing a mask in some kind of like containment chamber, and then like there's pipes drawing the energy out of the mask, either to, I don't know, strengthen the crab or allow the crab to gain the powers of the mask itself. Whatever it is, it just looks cool. And that's such an original way to have a MOC tap into the power of a mask. I adore that. Oh yeah, and check it out. This MOC also has power functions that allow it to walk. And it walks sideways, just like a real crab. It kind of blows my mind that the original crab didn't do that. Yeah, look, the engineering that went into making this is so insane. Truly amazing work. So that's the MANAS crabs. That's all the beautiful pieces that they come with, and some great ways to revamp it as well. How delightful. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the MOCs that you saw in today's video, be sure to check the links in the description below, and then you can check out more from the builders that I highlighted. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, happy building, and bye for now.